if I was not a massive Type Moon fanboy, Parasite would be number fucking 1. This is fucking good. I have heard a lot of hype from this series. I've had a lot of Chibits talk about it. I've seen so many people talk about saying that this is going to be fucking amazing. It's going to be a psychological ride. It's going to be everything that I love in anime. A lot of Chibits have told me that this is the type of series I would like, and you were fucking right. This is good. Oh. I'm serious right now. This is damn fucking good. This is a really, really good first episode. Out of all the episodes from this season, excluding Fate Stay Night, excluding that, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. Opening song, music, character introduction, character design, the art style, and the overall theme of it. Amazing. Freaking amazing. If you have not watched this, and if you're watching this review for the first time, go watch it. If you can't stand gore, though, and violence, I don't recommend watching it. I want to say that right now, because there was some gruesome violence I expected to be censored, but no. Speaking of that, I was told, I remember in Terraformers and different shows and series like JoJo, that they have to censor animal violence. I specifically remember Chibits saying that to me. They have to censor animal violence. With this episode, we see a dog transform, or it's still a dog. You can still make out it's a dog, but it has a parasite in it. You see its face like devolve or something because it gets big fucking bat wings on it. And you see how the parasite in our main male character Izumi's hand goes up, injects his dog, goes straight through its body, and takes its heart. You see it crush its freaking dog's heart in its hand. I'm like, it wasn't even censored. It was not even censored. There's no fucking censors. I'm not joking with you. There's no censors. Of all things I expected censored, that would be something that Terraformers would freaking censor. A dog getting impaled. That's actually something I expect to be censored. I expect that something like that to be censored, but it wasn't. No, extra clap. Madhouse, once fucking again, you show us why you're one of the best anime studios. If I am correct, this is by the same studio that gave us Hunter x Hunter. Madhouse delivers. Once again, they are not half-assing this, as I can see from this episode. It was brilliant. Fucking brilliant. And they didn't write it, of course, but the way they adapted, the way they show this episode introduction, it's got me freaking hyped. It's really got me hyped. Now, I do want to read the manga, but I'm going to hold back, because Madhouse has some great talent when it comes to good series like this. They've had a lot of talent to Hunter x Hunter. They've gotten a lot of talent from that. And since now that their team is no longer working on Hunter x Hunter, they can move over to this project, which in turn is going to be fucking amazing. Okay, now that I'm done with that, the episode. I like the concept. The concept of this parasite coming, I'm guessing, from space, as an alien-type parasite, comes from space, as I can see from this little embryo egg, lands, and it has to find a host. From what I can see, it can get in any living host. For instance, we saw one of the parasites get inside the dog. We saw one of the old men get a parasite inside him at the beginning of this episode and eat a person. And then we saw how the parasite that got in our main male character, Izumi, got in his hand. Now, we also specifically find out from the information of this episode that the parasite can actually fail from taking over the host. For instance, when Izumi was in his bed, he felt the parasite that's currently inside of him crawl up on him, and he actually stopped the parasite from getting to his brain and taking over his entire body. He took a earphone cord, and wrapped it around his entire freaking arm, and he stopped the blood flow to where the parasite couldn't go up his arm into his brain. That was a really realistic type example of how, like, something would travel in the blood or whatever. And when you saw it crawling, I was like, oh my god, that was fucking brutal. When you saw that green glow in his skin going up his arm, I was like, oh my god. Dude, I don't know if I'm the only one. I would already be chopping my fucking arm off. I would have chopped my arm off if I saw something like that on my hand. If I saw my fucking hand getting like a freaking lip on it and all that, and you see an eyeball sticking out and you see it splitting, ooh, dude, I'm taking a fucking butcher knife. I'm like, I'll do a guts. I'll pull a freaking guts on my arm. I would. Seriously. I'm not joking. If I saw my hand talking to me, It sounds cool from an outsider perspective, but imagine if your fucking hand was talking to you. Like, one moment, you're just average day, you're tapping on the fucking computer, all of a sudden your hand turns over with its eye sticking at you, like, hey, what you doing? You're just like, yeah, would you want a hand like that? No. I mean, it's pretty interesting the way it was displayed. Now, I want to get into the concept of this, okay? I actually respect this Parasite. I actually respect the Parasite that's in our main male character. Let me explain why. Yes, it's a Parasite. Yes, it took over Izumi's body. But the Parasite, in its time of being stuck in his hand, it actually matured, learned, got education, and it actually even said something I never expected from anything. It's the least thing I expected from something like this. It says we need to find a way to coexist and work together. That's what the Parasite said to Izumi. I'm like, a fucking Parasite saying that they need to work together. I'm like, dude, this Parasite's fucking intelligent. Oh my god. Some people can actually learn Tokyo Ghoul. Pretty much, wow. I like the concept. The concept is great. I'm thinking right now, I don't think I've ever seen a concept like this in an anime, especially with a Parasite taking over someone's body and then having a conversation with the person who took over. I don't think I've ever seen something like this anime, or it's very spread and few in between of anime I've watched, but either way, I like it. I really, really like this. It was a really good episode. I mean, it has me thinking about so much right now, because, I mean, from what we find out, the parasites can live off of nutrients. It needs to live off of nutrients from the host. For instance, you know, Izumi is eating food, bacon, eggs, and stuff, and as we can see in this episode, his appetite has increased. It has increased since he has this parasite on him, and if we think about real world and stuff, technically parasites do that even in real life. For instance, if they take over a body, they need more food for their cells, so you'll be hungrier, you'll have to eat more. And so I found that really realistic, how he had to start eating more to kind of make up for his hand, or this parasite in his hand, eating. Now, the thing is, I noticed, when the parasites take over the brain of the host, for instance, as we saw in the dog or on the person, it seems like they are not that smart, or they need to just eat anything in their path. Like, I mean, why isn't, you know, Izumi's hand eating his mother and father? Like, why is it not eating Izumi's mother and father? That's the big question. I mean, as we've seen from the other parasites, they're eating people. They're eating dogs, animals, they're eating things. So do they have to eat people? Or is it just to Izumi's hand, his parasite hand, that can live off of regular food? Because since he didn't take over the body, and since, you know, the host actually has control of his own body, he can actually kind of have this parasite work with him. Or maybe it's because the parasite has gained knowledge, and since he has knowledge now, he realizes he doesn't need to go on a killing spree like Savage Animal and killing random things. Maybe that's why the parasite's like that. I don't know. Either way, the parasite is incredibly smart, and it adapts to its environment, it definitely adapts to its host, and it gets incredibly strong, as we can see. And so, it's very fucking scary. In just one day's time, that parasite grew that strong, and is that smart. Imagine what that parasite would be like in maybe a year. That thing will be outsmarting Izumi like it's fucking nothing. So, overall, first impressions of Parasite. I want to be honest. I'm going to be straight on honest. I don't do this regular for new anime, but I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 episode. It was a fucking 10 out of 10. I'm not lying. The introductions and designs and everything was something I haven't seen in a while. And to see how this is being done like this, it really makes me want to read the manga. But I'm going to hold back, because I want to stay as an anime-only watcher, and I have faith in this series. Tell me your thoughts on your first impressions of Parasite. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? Let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe, and I can't wait for next episode. Chibi out.